About 6 months ago, I decided I wanted to rationalise all of my bikes down to just one bike. And for medical reasons, that bike was going to be an e-bike. And in the video that's mentioned up here in the top right, I go through some of my thinking. I focus in on two different bikes, one which is more touring oriented and the other which is more sporty. Subsequent to making that video, in this second video that's mentioned up here, I did some analysis and I decided that one bike wouldn't suit all of my cycling needs. So I decided to buy two bikes. That freed up some of my choices and enabled me to purchase a Specialized Turbo Vado, which is quite a big, heavy e-bike that's suited towards touring and relatively slow riding. Over the months, I've been using that Specialized Turbo Vado for all of my cycling, including fast-paced club runs. And believe me, it's not well suited to that activity. So I had been focusing on getting a second e-bike, which I could use for those faster rides. I'll keep the Turbo Vado for touring and days where I feel just like cruising. My thoughts kept coming back to that Mondraker Dusty, which I mentioned in the first video. And though I'd love one of those, unfortunately it was out of my price bracket. So I went onto eBay to see if I could find a used one. I couldn't. However, while I was looking, I found the bike that's in this box, or at least I hope is in this box, and I decided to put in a bid for it. And eventually I won the auction. So next I'll open the box. I'll do a time lapse of me building it up, and afterwards I'll just tell you what I bought and how much it cost. In subsequent videos I'll go through some of the specification. I'll also take a deeper look into the bike to see what are the pros and cons of buying a second-hand e-bike. I want to decide, did I get good value for money or have I bought a duffer? So this is the bike that came out of that box. It's a Giant Road E Plus 1 Pro. I think the Pro bit means it comes with Ultegra gears. Over the last few days, I've made a few additions and changes to one of which was to the brakes, and some of my regular viewers will have seen that video, and in particular the noise that those brakes made may be etched within their brain somewhere. It's certainly etched within mine. I've fixed that problem. In total, this bike cost me just under £700, including postage. That included the mudguards and a spare set of these gravel tyres which I've put on. I have had to spend about £50 correcting some of the faults, and it all seems to be working fine. But I think for £750 I've got a brilliant bargain. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here now. I'll come back in a future video and talk a bit more about the specification of this bike, the good bits about the purchasing process, and the not so good bits about the bike when I received it. I'll also summarise whether it will suit my needs or not. If you want to know more about this bike, consider subscribing, and if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments section. From me until the next video, it's goodbye.